So my background before getting into CNCs was everything done by hand. I've always been a woodworker. I got into metalworking, got into lasers, but yeah, whenever everybody's familiar with that process. You start off with the table saw, you start off with hand power tools, and it got to the point where whenever I wanted to increase production, there's only so many hours in the day, and there's only so efficient that you can make your process. So whenever I look at how do I increase productivity, really the main option is to hire somebody in order to be working while I'm working. Whenever I was considering the alternatives of do I hire an employee or not explore this route, then the CNC option became the front runner in my mind, and exploring what can a piece of equipment do while instead of an employee. And so I actually got into my first CNC, and my goal at the time was I was growing my channel, my YouTube channel, in this audience where I was constantly building new things. And my mission with that is to try to make things building accessible for them as well. And so I was already doing that by providing a set of digital plans for them, but it's way easier if I can provide a set of templates to be like, not only is there a set of plans, but here's a template for this really complicated curve that is just difficult to give just measurements off of. And instead of making all of those templates by hand on, let's say, a bandsaw, I can get the accuracy and the speed if I assign it to a CNC instead. So that was my main mission with the CNC, is to mass produce templates that I could then provide to my audience, that then freed up my time to go build the next original thing that then I could give templates to the CNC to be producing. And so it created this like beautiful cycle of allowing me, freeing up my time to go do the thing that I was good at and that I wanted to be doing, but then also creating a stream of revenue and an entire business by the CNC working at the same time that I was working. Of course, in the CNC world, like everything else, you have a lot of options. And whenever I first got into CNC, it was because of the templates, which are every single job that you come up against, whether it be making it by hand or with the CNC, you always have some sort of tolerance that you're working in. Somebody in the machining world works down to the 10,000 sometimes, but in the template world, or like if you're framing a house, you're working down to like an 1/8" tolerance. And so templates have a really kind of wide tolerance on it. And the machines that I was working with suited template making just fine. However, the tricky thing with CNCs is they suck you in. Once you understand what they're capable of, your brain just starts going crazy on how many ways you can put it to use for you. And so I started with templates, and then I just started saying, what about this? What about this? What about this? And all of the jobs just started getting progressively more difficult, and the tolerances more precise. And so then I started thinking, I need a Cadillac in my arsenal that I can depend on to be accurate, and the speed, obviously. Like the ShopSabre is just, it's amazing with speed, but more importantly, it's so incredibly accurate. The fact that this doesn't have any sort of wiggle room in it, and whenever maybe you don't appreciate that if you start with the top line model of a ShopSabre, but if you come from using all of these different brands that are saturating the space, and then you get into a ShopSabre, it really becomes apparent on just how precise it can be whenever you're working with a quality machine. Whenever considering a CNC, as a business owner, it's really important to me to have a machine that I can rely on. So the ShopSabre quality is, of course, at the level that I need to where I know that it's going to be able to do the job. But then now that I've worked with a ton of other CNCs, the amount of problems that I've had out of this unit versus my other ones is just so far, it doesn't even compare. Like I've had so many problems with the other ones. And then the few times that I've had, really it's user error. You have to learn how to communicate to the machine in its language, right? So the few times that I haven't been able to figure it out on my own, or I have run into a problem, I've been able to call tech support and immediately get my answer. And so as a business owner, I can rely on the machine to do its job. And then whenever something does happen, I can rely on the company to help me solve that problem. And so it's like I feel very just reassured on all areas as a business owner that I can fill this machine's time and know that I'm going to be able to back up and follow through with that order. It's made in the US, so of course they're on the same sort of time zones that I'm working on. And more than that, ShopSabre is like one of the original companies that built the CNC from the ground up. So that was another thing whenever I was looking at CNCs. So many companies, you just go into their warehouse and say, into the CNC plants and say, I want that machine, but put my brand on it. ShopSabre actually built it. So then everybody in that company knows about CNCs, not just in the concept of them, but every single piece and part of it. So yeah, as a business owner, in my head, there's no other option. If you want to be on the level to where you can just concentrate on growing your business, then you need tools that are dependable. Whenever it comes down to advice on buying a machine, there's kind of two approaches. You can either start off on entry level and then stair step your way up to the Cadillac, to the top of the line unit. And there's definitely pros to that, but there's also some cons. Or the other mentality on the other side is to buy your last machine first. And ever since getting into this, I've kind of played both sides. Whenever I was buying my hand power tools, I went to the pawn store and bought a bunch of cheap used items and then stair stepped up to new items as I built up the funds from it. But then whenever I bought my table saw, I was like, nope, I'm going for the one that I will ultimately end up with. And so I've kind of played both sides. With CNCs, if you go the stair-stepping route, you're gonna be stair-stepping up to this machine. So then if you have the mentality to where you're gonna turn CNC manufacturing into a business, then know that this is the machine that you're gonna be stepping up to, and now you can make the decision. Do you want to go through all of that pain and trial and problems that it's gonna create and the less precision and maybe lower quality jobs that you're gonna be able to accept with not as good customer service and tech support? Or do you want to just buy your last machine first and go into it with your best foot forward, not only with the right mentality on thinking, I'm gonna do this, but I'm also gonna do it with the machine that I know has my back.
What a great success story, and we're happy ShopSabre could be part of it. And thanks to April and her team for inviting us in and sharing your experiences with their ShopSabre CNC router. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you'd like to see more videos like this, be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you need more information, you can contact us at shopsabre.com. Thank you for watching.